Well, hello there. Welcome back from the AutoWrecking.com studios. It's time again to share a few tips and tricks with you folks, so let's get right into it. So one thing I wanted to share is what I use a lot is called Alt-Tab, so the Alt key plus the Tab button. That toggles you between different applications on your desktop. I use it all day, every day. It's very, very helpful and a quick shortcut. Again, if you've watched my previous videos about how I dislike using the mouse and how it slows me down, using Alt-Tab is a cool little trick to get you in between different applications. Next thing I wanted to talk about is the difference between chassis cab and pickup. So in this example, we're using a 2014 F350, and it asks on this diesel 6.7 liter if it's a chassis cab or pickup. A chassis cab comes from the factory to the dealer, kind of bare bones, no bed, sometimes other things not on it, but it'll have just the cab and doors and the nose. Usually in that circumstance, they're sent to the dealer that way because the dealer is anticipating putting a custom service body or doing a custom build on the vehicle. So they buy it kind of bare bones and build it from there. So certain things can be different, drive lines, fuel tank placement, there could be some small details that are different that it may matter. So that's the difference between chassis cab or a regular pickup would be what you typically see on the front line of a dealership when you're driving by, just that truck that somebody would get in and purchase as a retail consumer. The next thing I want to talk about is the aftermarket results button. So let's go back here. Let's use a 2004 F-150 as our example. And let's say we are a 5.4, you'll see here it says 3V, that stands for 3-valve. SOHC stands for single overhead cam. So let's say we're a 3-valve 5.4, and you'll take a look. We have some fantastic used options for your customers. So being a solutions provider, you've got a great depth of inventory here. Thank your buyers for that. You've got some really good opportunity to sell them a nice quality used unit. But sometimes we may be out of stock, or sometimes you may have a situation where the customer is looking for options, in which case you can utilize this button up at the top called the aftermarket results. And I wanted to go over this really quick and kind of share with you how to read this. So first line here you'll see is APS 3100. What this is this means it's built by APS, which is AER. 3100 stands for 3-year, 100,000 mile warranty. The customer is responsible for a $450 core charge. Right now it says they have a quantity of 0, and this is their part number, L5404W3T. $2475 is your price. Keep in mind, plus a core, plus freight. So the freight, you're gonna add a couple $100 for the freight, and then mark it up from there. Email aftermarket@autowrecking.com if you have specific questions about this process. That goes to our team of people who manages all of our drivetrain and aftermarket orders to make sure that they keep tabs on that shipment getting to your customer and then that core being returned. Ultimately, you and your customer are responsible for that, but this just gives us an extra layer of protection. So you see that says quantity 0, but if you keep looking down, you'll see they have some other opportunities for you to make a sale here at 2100 and 2200. There's going to be some differences. This one specifies long block. So this would be something, if you're not sure, that I would get aftermarket@autowrecking.com involved. And remember, nobody likes to work for free, so make sure that you are your customer's committed and that you have a strong understanding that they're moving forward in that process before you start firing off emails and potentially wasting somebody's very valuable time. Just like you, those folks are super busy. So you'll also notice there's some other line items here. KB cores, Bishop and G core, ACE and MCI. So these are 275, 75, and then 200 respectively. These folks are purchasing cores from us. So if we had a core engine, those folks would buy it from us for $275 if we sent it to them. So make sure whenever you're selling a part, it's going to automatically populate the current core value that we're getting from our highest bidder into that initial quote screen, in the work order screen. So I've noticed that some of you may not understand the process and you're taking those core charges off. You need to get with your manager and make sure that you understand when it's acceptable to do that. And in most cases, that would be very rare that it's acceptable. Everybody in the automotive space expects to be charged cores. It's nothing new. So the only one that's scared of it is us, quite frankly. So make sure that you understand that process. And there's no sense in wasting a bunch of time and people's energy and efforts and paperwork over $1 or $2 core charge. But cores are an important part of our business, and they need to be respected as such. So this is a great example of both your remanufactured opportunities and then how those core values are displayed. The last thing I want to cover today is, again, being a solutions provider and some of the opportunities that you have to do so. Let's say we're looking for a grill for a 2014 F-150 XLT black mesh background. Hit F12 right here, which should bring up your car part screen. Bad example. Whoops, should have done my homework a little bit better. I had this figured out earlier. Let's try 04 F-150. And we'll go new style, honeycomb center. Sorry about that example earlier. F12, let's see if this works. Okay, great, this one's gonna work for us. So if you see here, it's going to bring up naturally just your used options, but it's also gonna have this little button here where it says vendors and it says 12. Anytime I see a number listed in here under vendors, I automatically know that this part is probably available aftermarket. The vendors tab in CarPart is reserved for aftermarket suppliers. So if you look here, it's gonna, it's defaulting to some folks in Canada. There's some folks in Tennessee. This isn't going to show all of our vendors. So again, aftermarket@autowrecking.com is a great resource for you. Go ahead and email them and let them know that you need price availability on an aftermarket grill, and they would be able to help you with that. So again, just giving you other ideas on how to be a complete solutions provider. That F12 key should take you right to CarPart, and then the vendors tab is going to let you know that it is available aftermarket. So the team at aftermarket@autowrecking.com would be able to source that for you and get your price and availability. Many times there's several choices, Kappa versus non-Kappa, NSF certified versus non. So you may want to let aftermarket@autowrecking.com know, if it's a customer pay, a value conscious customer, or if it's for a DRP or a body shop, insurance job. They may have some Kappa requirements. Again, don't abuse that email, and make sure, the best way to do that is to make sure that your customer is committed. So there's a ton of opportunity to be a solutions provider. There's a ton of ways to source product for your customers. You don't know what you don't know, so don't say no. Always be looking for a way to do the right thing for the customer, and they'll keep coming back again and again and again. So again, you don't know what you don't know, so don't say no. Get some help from your manager or a senior seller or from myself, and you will reap great benefits and continue to grow in your career. So that's it for today, folks. Thanks for taking a couple minutes out of your day to hang out with me. We'll be back again soon with some more tips. Have a fantastic week.